Hello everyone, and welcome back to Dirty Kitty, and to a now correctly textured Suvernabhumi airport, courtesy of a new patch that fixes most of the issues about textures on airports that cross tile boundaries. So, today we are back in the Cessna c172p, and we will be doing some fun tricks that are pushing the envelope of the flight dynamics model and seeing the kind of fun we can do in this plane. So let's hop in the cockpit and let's get started. Alright, airspeed's alive, 40 and 50. Let's go. Alright, so we're up in the air. We're going to do a couple of aerobatics here in the Cessna C172 just to see what this airframe is capable of. Now, this flight has to be performed in visual flight rules because, spoiler alert, we will completely break the artificial horizon during the way. And also, a lot of it will be using the HUD, which, yes, is a little bit cheating because this plane does not exist in the real plane of this model. However, it will make a lot of the things we will be doing a lot easier. Now, first things first, and we overshot our altitude by a bit here. Let's go up to 130 degrees for a fun experiment in trying to make this plane a 0G plane, at least somewhat. Obviously, we won't be able to hold 0G for as long as a visual flight does. You might have noticed that there is a G indicator right here in the generic HUD, and we will be using this to get a good using this to control our G's. So let's go ahead and pull up, monitoring the number, making sure it's not too high here, and then back down. We're actually pulling slight negative G's here, and ooh, the engine actually shut down. The engine actually briefly went ham for a bit there. I'm not sure if that actually happens in a real plane. Because this thing is a high wing, there's some amount of gravity fed in the fuel system. However, there is a pump driven by the engine, at least in the SP model. So I'm not sure if the engine downspeeding just like that is correct behavior or not. Let's try it up again and see if we can hold it for a while longer. Maybe with less G's during the downstroke. Okay, that one didn't trigger anything, so we might want to do something less drastic, more drastic, moreover. We need to fly slightly negative G's. So let's do that again. On the up. And going down. Just like that. Hurting the engine there. Now, next up, one of the things that I've been doing externally for a while at least is that I have been sending the Citation 10 into an inverted flight. Now, the Cessna can actually sorta do inverted flight as well. I'm going to show it out real quick. So, just gather just enough speed, pull up a bit, and go in. Just like that. The problem here is that the plane, in addition to shutting down, just does not want to climb in this configuration at all. So I need to very quickly get out of it before I get anything damaged. In fact, if I were to be inverted, even if I had the elevators all at full nose down, the aircraft will still pitch up and head towards the ground. And eventually it will overspeed and do all kinds of damage. So we're not going to do that. And as you can see, our artificial horizon is already completely dead. Which is why we aren't using it any earlier. But let's try to center it a little bit, shall we? Let's see if we can do a sort of steep turn here in this plane. So I'm gonna go ahead and advance the throttle to full because it was a little bit short. And let's turn right and rudder left a little bit in order to hold our pitch steady. Just like that. Really steep bank. Now let's get out of this before we break anything. Conveniently lined up with the airport even. Because, and that's gonna be fun, because the next thing we are going to do is to send this plane to a loop-the-loop. Yep, you can get a C172 into a loop-the-loop, although it is probably takes a bit more skill than the other one because the G limits are pretty strenuous on this plane. You cannot exceed like 3 Gs or so, otherwise the wing will start to break. So don't yank too hard, and the 3G numbers from my experiments, by the way. I'm not sure if that's a hard number. But yeah, don't yank too hard, and try not to stall on your way midway through, because if you stall midway through, there's you will go into a spin, possibly close to the ground, and that is a pretty challenging situation to get out of. So, well, one of the very first things you do is you need to gather enough speed. Personally, I think that 130 on the altimeter should be enough. On the airspeed indicator, I mean. So we're going to wait until we get there. And once your speed all set, just pull up. You can hear the stall horn trigger twice there. Once when the plane was going up, and once more when the plane was down and falling. So yeah, if you do it well, you can even get yourself back to altitude and at very close to the heading you started at. Maybe even climb a little bit, as you can see here. Just with less speed. And of course, you don't break the wing. Well, let's try that again. Drop down a little bit to gather speed. Almost there, and up. This time the stall horn did not sound at all. Awesome. Alright, so that's about it for aerobatic tricks on the C172p. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the replay and see how that looks on there. Right, so here we are. We are about to do our steep turn back to the airport. Not a very steep turn by Top Gun standards, but still way steeper than you would usually do in this plane. Right, and next up will be the loop-loop. And just like that. You can also catch a glimpse on chase view. It probably looks pretty good that way. Kind of twitching around the auto singularity there. Smooth. And we might even be able to catch it on a flyby view. And back down. Just like that. So, I think that's about it for today's demonstration. I will repeat that FlightGear's flight dynamics model might not be completely realistic in these scenarios, so if you want to perform these maneuvers in real life, please check with an instructor and make sure to be really careful, because many of these, if done wrong, can seriously harm the aircraft and be very dangerous to you. So, don't forget that I have a Ko-fi page now. I've turned off the donation thingy for the time being. However, if you still want to support my content, you can still send me a little donation over there. I'll see you again next time. Safe flights!